to my YouTube channel, and today is gonna be oh snap, I forgot how fast I made this, but I'm doing my makeup while I basically tell you about how the Lord had me fast from makeup for 2 months straight. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So this started in July of this year when the Lord had sent a word to my man, to basically have me take a break from makeup. I didn't know how long it was going to be. The Lord just basically told my boyfriend to tell me that I had to throw away all my makeup. So I did just that. I'm doing my brows here with just this random double-ended brow brush. I believe this is from e.l.f. I don't remember. It's been in my makeup collection for so long, and it was also my mom's, so I don't know, but I'm just brushing my brows with that, and then I'm taking some edge control and just kind of laminating them, kind of like a brow lamination. I don't really have a lot of hair on my brows to begin with, courtesy of my mother, but also because, fun fact about me, I actually shaved my eyebrow on accident when I was a kid, when I was in middle school, so that's another fun fact about me. So there's that. But going back to the story, basically what had happened was that when I was told to throw away my makeup, I'm gonna tell you very honestly, beforehand I was already feeling a kind of way about wearing makeup and not really wearing it often. So my last documented photo or any sort of media until then of me doing my makeup was July 5th of this year. And even before then, I was feeling very odd about doing makeup and whether or not I wanted to do it or not. And so honestly, getting that word was very cathartic. If you hear any background noise, I'm recording this outside. But it was very cathartic. It was very freeing, but it was also very annoying. That's me, checking my brows out, seeing if everything looks good, me having a little dance session. I was literally jamming out to freaking weed music when I was doing this, bruh. I'm over here I'm jamming out to some freaking, I don't even know what I would be doing. But this is the foundation that I was using. This is me trying to get it in focus and me filming the 2010s makeup girlies. Moving on. And before y'all get on me, yes, I know that this foundation looks mad gray. I am a neutral tone girly. Leave me. My face is a different complexion than the rest of my body. I am very light-skinned, if you cannot tell. But moving on, throughout the entire 2 months that I was told to basically not wear makeup and have to just stick it out with my bare face, I didn't realize how much I genuinely relied on makeup as almost like a weapon until I was called to fast from it for an entire 2 months. I didn't even know it was going to be 2 months. Like I mentioned before, I was just doing it because the Lord said. But yeah, this is me using my phone again as a mirror because one thing about filming on an iPad versus filming on an iPhone, even though an iPad has a bigger screen, sometimes you need to really make sure that you get all of the little details of blending your makeup and all that. So this is me just trying to make sure that I do that. This is also me trying to make sure that I don't blend my foundation into my eyebrows because I'm very prone to doing that as I was beforehand. And I will say right now that this whole experience felt very bittersweet because August especially was a very bittersweet time for me in terms of dealing with 2 birthdays because my mom and my sister are both born in August, and that means that I had to go out. And I didn't realize how much I genuinely had to go out places and how uncomfortable I felt without makeup until I genuinely had to do it. This is me just taking just like a regular like beauty supply store eyeliner and just gliding it all over my eye. And if you're wondering why I was fixing my lashes, I have very long lashes, so I have to pull them down in order to have access to my lash line at all. Like, genuinely, I was struggling because I forget that I have lashes that are extremely long, and this is me taking it into my waterline, just going through the motions, swoop, 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 swoop. Yeah. If you were to ask me, honestly, what was the whole purpose of this makeup look, there was no, like, genuine, plan. I was kind of just winging it, honestly. I truly was just going through the motions, doing whatever felt comfortable. And what felt comfortable was this sort of like smoky, almost kind of giving like late 2000s makeup look. And this is me taking just a makeup brush that I had bought and just smudging that eyeliner out. Not too much, because I like my makeup a little bit messy. I know that may shock a lot of people, but genuinely, I like my makeup a little bit messy. I also had very limited products because when I was asking for makeup, I had to pretty much throw all of my products away, and that included my brushes, like I had concealer and all of that. And I pray that y'all heard that little ASMR moment because I genuinely loved it. I loved it so much. Oh my goodness, that's a fun fact about me. I love ASMR. But I was taking that Avon palette that I had and just going in with the second to darkest shade and just using that to kind of stipple in the product into my waterline, and then blending it out to kind of create more of a smoky effect. If you can't tell, I really like smoky makeup. And then I'm just doing that again on the other side. But instead of stippling it in, I kind of just decided, well, I kind of was stippling it in now that I look at it, but not as gently as I was doing it on the other side. And I was stippling and smudging that eyeliner into a wing instead of creating a wing with my eyeliner, jamming out again as though I was not literally dancing to freaking Wii music. And then this is me looking to see how I genuinely look. And then this is the pressed powder that I used from JCat Beauty. I will say that this was a very good powder. I know a lot of people are skeptical about certain powders that come from beauty supply stores, but I love this. I was just using this to kind of set whatever makeup was on whatever foundation that I didn't show before that I blended onto my eyes. I used that to blend it onto that, and then I take this palette. I actually don't remember where this is from. I think this is from Walmart, and I just take the lightest shade and I kind of use that more as a transition shade on my lid and just kind of blend. It wasn't a super it wasn't super pigmented, I'll admit that, but this is the palette that it looks like for those of y'all that were wondering. And this is me taking that same eyeliner that I had from before and using it to literally try and do my brows. I don't know why I thought that black wouldn't be so harsh, but I did that anyway, and just kind of just fixed my brows. But back to the story. One moment that made me realize how much I genuinely loved makeup as a form of art and helped me to not have to use makeup as some sort of I guess like coping mechanism or some form of armor was actually when I went out for my mom's birthday dinner without makeup in a really fancy dress that I would typically have gone like full like natural glam for, but I realized that I did not have to. It was very cathartic. It was also very scary because I was not used to being in any sort of... I would typically go out without makeup, but not to like I guess people don't consider dinners events. I consider family dinners like outside. If we're going to a restaurant, that's an event to me. I don't care what y'all think or what y'all say. That's an event to me. But I chose to do this anyway, in the sense of just feeling a need, and also because I literally had like nothing else to rely on other than a literal lip gloss that the Lord told me to keep from Fenty. Oh, why was I mugging in that last shot? Okay, this was me trying to do my eyeshadow, and then I realized that the brush was not picking up anything, so I just used my finger. And now we see the potential. Now we see the material. Look at the material. Look at the shimmer. Yes, ma'am. Okay, moving on. So basically, when I went out to dinner for my mom's birthday, I felt really weird because I was one of the only people there that didn't have makeup on, and it was really shocking to see how much I genuinely grew from the first month to now, and I look so good. Yes, I'm using a red lipstick as a blush. For those of you that believe that you can't use makeup as for multi-purpose things, that is a lie. That is a lie. You have to remember, I learned makeup in the 2010s. Yes, I am only 20 years old, and yes, I would have been a freaking elementary to middle school to like freshman year of high school kid during that time, but it was still enough for me to know what to do. So I'm just gonna blend the mess out of that. Gonna blend the mess out of that blush. But I look good. I don't know if it's just this camera quality and the look and the hair and just everything, but I am kidding. Okay, period. Come on. Even when I'm blending, I look good. Yes, ma'am. Okay, moving on. But basically, during that time, I was beginning to also realize genuinely how I still had a lot of insecurities that I was going through, and this is a lighting change because I wanted to see how it looked in like overhead lighting versus natural lighting for this. Honestly, it looked dang near the same, which I think that is a testament to my makeup skills. So hey, let's go. Okay, but going back to me talking about my insecurities, I felt like I had a lot of unresolved insecurities in my face. Like, as you can see, even though I'm wearing makeup, my acne still shows through. Even like what is considered like medium, light to medium, or maybe even full coverage foundation, but it still shows. I'm just using the lipstick that I was using as a blush, more like a lip stain. But even when it came to like my makeup and even doing it, I felt very insecure about the fact that my acne scars still showed through, and genuinely feeling like I looked dead without makeup on, because I have a very strong resting mean face whenever I don't do like any sort of makeup, and it really shows. So I was very insecure about that. This is me trying to darken my moles because I covered them with the foundation and the powder and all that jazz. But this is, honestly, I think that this is probably one of my favorite makeup looks I've ever done in general. Granted, this is really one of my signature makeup looks, this was one of my signature makeup looks when I was still wearing makeup, so I guess that's part of the reason why. But this is the final look. I pray that y'all like it, and thank you for talking with me, and I'll see you next time.